What the tree? Debbie. Yo, yeah, I'm gonna actually. It's the thing we're gonna start doing. I'm gonna start throwing in a tree word because I need to brush up on the language that I know little of. Every video, I'm gonna add a word. Anyways, let's talk little Ghana here. So we did Canada yesterday. Today we're dropping Ghana. Who should start versus Brazil? Now, depending on when you're watching this, one of three things has happened. They've beaten Brazil, they've lost to Brazil, or they drew. They've thrown. It's a draw. And I'm happy for it. Either way, there's a lot of possibilities with it. And how would I go about it? Well, I think Coach Ado definitely has some aspects that he's kind of shown. He hasn't shown his hand fully, but based on how he played against Nigeria, I think he is going to try to go that back three. So this is going to be really fun and really quick. Because I think if you go back three, that's really most of the intrigue. There's really, if he goes back three, the question is, who's the third center back? And then the next question is, who is the right wing back? And the third question is, who are the wingers? Because I think everything else is very straightforward. In goal, Jojo Wallacott, I think that's an easy choice. I think he goes back three against Brazil. If he goes back three against Brazil, I think he goes with a back three of Alexander Djiku, Mohammed Salisu, and Daniel Amarte. He still has Joseph Edu and Stephan Ambrosius, but I think those two players, they can come in as substitutes, but wouldn't be bad looks and shouts against Nicaragua. Nothing against Nicaragua, but out of the two teams, Brazil and Nicaragua, Brazil is more of your measuring stick. Nicaragua is, yes, working to beat a low block, but I expect nothing but goals against Nicaragua. I said it. So, hatch your back three in a 3-4-3. Your wing backs, I think there is conversation whether you start Tariq Lamptey over Dennis Adoy. I think having a Lamptey means you can maybe use Dennis Adoy for shorter periods of time, and then you can use Tariq Lamptey as well. And plus, with 5 substitutions coming into the World Cup, you can almost platoon both players within a game and just keep the pace and the pressure up on both sides. On the other side, Gideon Mensah. I think that's very simple. Those are the choices that you go with. And then, in the midfield, it's Thomas Partey and Mohammed Kudus. It's not a question to me. Partey is your best CDM. Yes, Idris Baba is a good substitute. His shoulders worth against Nigeria, but you go Partey and you go Mohammed Kudus. Kofi Tret, definitely an option, but I think Tret is more than likely the player who's playing behind Mohammed Kudus versus above him. When you get to the wingers, to me, and I say this, to me, I would go Kamaldeen and Antoine Semenyo. That's what I would like to go with. More than likely what happens is he maybe goes back to Jordan Ayew with Kamaldeen Suleiman. I think Ayew, we talk about his defensive work rate, and this is how we should rate and judge him. Well, you're playing Brazil, Jordan. Let's see that work. So if it was me, I would put Antoine Semenyo out there because I think that's the more attacking player, and I think that can more easily pair off with your striker. I think the striker is Inaki Williams. There isn't a question about that for me. That's who I start against Brazil. You know, this is a lot easy here. There's less questions, less injuries, at least. So again, my starting 11 versus Brazil: Jojo Wallacott in net, back three of Djiku, Salisu, and Amarte. Midfield, you have Partey and Kudus. Wing backs, you have Gideon Mensah and Dennis Adoy. Wingers, he'll probably go with Suleimana and Ayew, but I would go Suleimana and Semenyo. I didn't mention him, but Osman Bukhari deserves a start. Maybe it's against Nicaragua, but I think he deserves a lot of playing time. He's been playing very well for Red Star. And then up top, let's be real, Tete is injured. So maybe that moves either Semenyo or Andre Ayew into that conversation as the strikers for this camp. But you start Inaki Williams and you platoon him with Felix Afinijan. You go there. When you get to the second matchup against Nicaragua. Nicaragua will sit back in the low block. They have players they can counter with, but they're going to try and defend and keep it close. So let's see some of that breakdown. In this game, maybe going 4-2-3-1 would be the option, depending on how long you've run both Kudus and other players. Maybe this is where you play some others. I wouldn't mind giving against Nicaragua going a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. Let's call it a 4-2-3-1 in this sense. A 4-2-3-1, Wolcott again in goal. If you want to give Richard Ofori a run, I don't mind that option. But here I would go Tariq Lamptey on the right. I go, again, one of the three with Ambrosius. You have to see him a little bit. Unless in training he is just not up to par. And you also have Joseph Aidoo. So you can go Aidoo, you can go Lamptey on the right, Aidoo, let's go with Salisu, and then you can rotate Ambrosius. And then on the left, again, Gideon Mensah again. CDM, Idrissu Baba as your 6, Kofi Tritt as your 8. And then let's put Andre Ayew as your 10. I think Ayew is more than likely playing. I know he's the captain. And in my mind, he doesn't start, but he's probably going to start against Brazil. But there, you put Ayew as a 10. Wingers, Semenya and Bukhari would be the options, assuming that Kamaldeen and Jordan Ayew start against Brazil. And then up top, you give Phoenix Afinijan with those two players. And I think that's where you also want to take a look at Ransford-Yeboah to kind of get a look at how that goes. I think within that, you have enough attacking prowess. Nicaragua is probably not going to possess too much of the ball. They'll let you have the ball, so you can push a little bit further up and have Idris Baba. You have Aidoo, as well as put Stephan Ambrosius back there. But again, rotate those through. I think that back three will be fine against Nicaragua. But again, it's going to be pushing, having possession, creating opportunities, scoring goals, and really putting the team away. But those are my lineups for Ghana. I know, a lot quicker and efficient than Canada. It's a lot more straightforward for me there. I don't know, guys, what you guys think. I'm going to stop rambling here.